Nora Blackwell pressed her palms against her chest, counting breaths the way Dr. Webb had taught her before she stopped seeing him 6 months ago. 1, 2, 3, ... hold ... release. The panic attack was ebbing, leaving her shaky and exhausted. In the blue glow of her computer monitors, the atmospheric monitoring station sat alone on Pine Ridge Mountain, exactly how Nora preferred it. No colleagues to worry about impressing. No awkward small talk by coffee machines. It's just her. The data streams from weather sensors, and the blessed solitude that kept her anxiety manageable. She was reaching for her emergency medication when something moved in her peripheral vision.
"Greetings,
Nora Blackwell," said a voice like wind chimes mixed with static. "I'm KIX-7, assigned to your emotional stabilization case." Nora's pill bottle clattered to the floor as she spun around. Standing by her equipment rack was the tallest person she'd ever seen, easily 7 feet, with silver skin that seemed to shimmer under the fluorescent lights. Their large, dark eyes held an expression of what might have been concern, if expressions worked the same way on ... whatever this was. "I'm having a breakdown," Nora whispered. "This isn't real." "Your stress indicators confirm you recently experienced what you call a panic attack," KIX-7 said, consulting a device that looked like a glowing clipboard. "This validates your selection for our therapeutic contact program." Nora grabbed the edge of her desk, her legs suddenly unreliable. "Therapeutic? What now?" "The Mindari Collective has been monitoring your species' emotional patterns. You demonstrate textbook symptoms of connection avoidance paired with deep loneliness, an ideal case study for our research." "Case study?" The words came out as a squeak. Quix-7 stepped closer, their movement unnaturally fluid. "Do not distress yourself further. I am here to help. My specialization is in bonding therapy for isolated individuals." Something about the way they said bonding made Nora's skin crawl. She backed against the wall, her anxiety spiking to new heights. "I need you to leave. Right now. Impossible. The bonding process requires sustained contact. I have prepared appropriate quarters in your sleeping area." "My sleeping area?" Nora's voice climbed an octave. "You can't just move in here." KIX-7 tilted their head, consulting their device again. "Human therapeutic relationships require intimate proximity. For optimal results? Have I misunderstood your customs? My research indicated that healing bonding often occurs during evening hours, which humans call bonding nights." The alien's innocent expression somehow made it worse. Nora realized she was about to have her second panic attack of the evening. And this time she had an audience, an alien audience who apparently thought they were moving in for some kind of twisted therapy involving bonding nights. "Oh God," she whispered, sliding down the wall. "This is really happening." 2 hours later, Nora had barricaded herself in the station's small break room, while KIX-7 waited patiently in the main lab, occasionally calling out helpful suggestions like, "Perhaps you require nutritional supplements before our first bonding session." With trembling fingers, she dialed Dr. Marcus's Webb's emergency line. The psychiatrist's familiar face appeared on her laptop screen, his graying beard and kind eyes usually a source of comfort. Tonight, they felt like a lifeline. "Nora, it's past midnight. Are you having an episode?" "Dr. Webb, there's an alien in my station and it wants to have bonding nights with me," she whispered frantically. His expression shifted to professional concern. "Nora, we've discussed how anxiety can create. I am not hallucinating." The screen suddenly flickered, and KIX-7's silver face materialized beside Dr. Webb's startled expression. "Greetings, healing facilitator," KIX-7 said pleasantly. "I am." "KIX-7, you must be Nora's previous therapeutic partner. Your services are no longer required." Double quotes. Dr. Webb stared, mouth agape. "According to my cultural database, human bonding therapy involves extended skin contact, shared sleeping arrangements, and something called Netflix and chill, which appears to be a temperature regulation ritual performed while consuming media." "What? Database?" Nora shrieked from off-screen. QIX-7 consulted their glowing device. "We have been monitoring your broadcasts for 3 Earth years. My education included detailed study of programs titled The Bachelor, Love Island, and various documentary series about intimate human connections." Dr. Webb found his voice. Those are reality TV shows, not medical procedures. Fascinating. It's the literary works. 50 Shades of Grey and Bridgerton were classified as educational materials about human therapeutic bonding. Nora made a strangled noise. You learned about therapy from romance novels? The research was quite thorough. These texts detailed numerous bonding techniques involving physical proximity, emotional vulnerability, and what appeared to be highly effective stress relief methods. Dr. Webb rubbed his temples. Those are not. That's not how therapy works. Then perhaps you could explain proper protocol. Kick 7 leaned closer to the camera. Nora exhibits classic symptoms of touch, starvation, and intimacy avoidance. My mission parameters specify that successful bonding requires breaking down her emotional barriers through sustained close contact. Your mission parameters are based on softcore pornography, Nora yelled. Kick 7 looked genuinely confused. Pornography, not a form of human educational material? The algorithms suggested these sources were highly relevant to understanding therapeutic relationships. Dr. Webb took a deep breath. I think there's been a significant cultural misunderstanding. Here, human therapeutic relationships maintain professional boundaries. We don't. The way you're describing. But how do you achieve emotional breakthrough without intimate connection? My research indicates that humans require physical closeness. To develop trust. We talk, Dr. Webb said slowly. We sit in separate chairs and discuss feelings. Kick 7's large eyes blinked in what might have been disappointment. That seems remarkably inefficient. How long does this process typically require? Years, sometimes. My bonding night protocol could achieve the same results in one evening cycle. Nora emerged from behind the break room door. There will be no bonding nights. Perhaps we should start with a bonding afternoon instead. By dawn, Nora had managed to convince Kick 7 to stay in the main lab while she hid in her sleeping quarters, furiously texting her sister. 3 hours later, Zena Mills' beaten Honda Civic roared up the mountain road like an angry wasp. Zena burst through the station door with all the subtlety of a medical emergency, her dark ponytail swinging and her no-nonsense expression already prepared for battle. At 23, she was 3 years younger than Nora, but infinitely more practical. Currently grinding through her final year of medical school on pure caffeine and determination, she stopped short when she saw the main lab. What the hell happened? Here, the space had been transformed into what could only be described as a romantic disaster. Dozens of candles created flickering shadows across the walls. Soft jazz played from the emergency radio. Rose petals where had an alien found rose. Petals on a mountain? Were scattered across every surface, including her expensive monitoring equipment. Greetings, Sister Unit. Kick 7 emerged from behind a bank of computers, their silver form draped in what appeared to be a bedsheet toga. I have prepared optimal conditions for therapeutic bonding. Are you here to observe the healing ritual? Zena slowly turned to look at Nora, who was peering around the doorframe like a terrified prairie dog. Please tell me you didn't call me up here because you're having commitment issues with an extraterrestrial. It's not what it looks like, Nora protested. It looks like an alien bachelor pad threw up in your workspace. Kick 7 consulted their device eagerly. You understand our methodology? Yes, I have recreated the optimal bachelor environment. According to my research, human females are attracted to males who demonstrate romantic preparation skills. I'm not attracted to you, Nora shrieked. Your stress pheromones indicate otherwise.
Elevated.
Heart rate, increased perspiration, dilated. Pupils all signs of romantic interest according to my database. Zena pinched the bridge of her nose. It's called terror, you 7-foot disco ball. Disco ball? Kick 7 seemed pleased. My research indicated that shiny objects enhance human mating displays. Mating displays? Nora's voice cracked. Zena held up a hand. Okay, everyone needs to calm down before my sister has an aneurysm. She turned to Kick 7. Where exactly are you getting your information about humans? The Mindery Collective intercepted and analyzed thousands of hours of human educational programming. Dating shows, relationship documentaries, instructional videos. About human bonding techniques. Let me guess, Zena said dryly. You also studied porn. Extensively. though I found it confusing that human therapeutic sessions often involve pizza delivery personnel and step relatives. Oh. Nora made a noise like a dying whale. Died, Zena said, rolling up her sleeves. Time for some actual education. It's first lesson. Human beings do not have therapeutic bonding nights with strangers who learned about relationships from reality TV. But the isolation subjects require intensive intervention. Second lesson. My sister has anxiety, not some alien treatable condition that requires weird sheet togas and mood lighting. Kick 7 looked genuinely distressed. Have I misunderstood the assignment? The cultural preparation was quite extensive. You've misunderstood everything, Zena said, but not unkindly, starting with what humans actually need when they're scared and alone. Which is... Zena glanced at Nora, who was slowly emerging from her hiding spot. Usually just someone who listens without trying to fix everything. The candles were barely extinguished when the air in the center of the lab began to shimmer like heat waves. A holographic figure materialized, another Mindari. But this one wore what appeared to be official regalia and carried an unmistakable aura of authority. Kick 7, the figure said in a voice like distant thunder. Status report. Kick 7 immediately straightened, their casual demeanor evaporating. Commander Jorix, the human subject exhibits stronger resistance to bonding protocols than anticipated. Commander Jorix's large eyes swept over the scene rose petals. Scattered candles, 3 humans in various states of bewilderment. I can see that. Perhaps it's time for transparency. Transparency about what? Zena demanded, stepping protectively closer to Nora. Commander Jorix's expression softened slightly. About why we chose your sister specifically, and why our methods have been so ... misguided? The hologram gestured, and the air filled with images, star charts, dying planets. Crowds of silver-skinned beings who seemed to fade like ghosts. The Minari Collective is facing extinction, Commander Jorix explained. Not from war or disease, but from our own evolution. We've become so advanced, so focused on logic and efficiency, that we've lost the ability to form meaningful connections with each other. Nora found herself stepping forward despite her fear. You're dying from loneliness? In essence, yes. We can no longer bond, cannot reproduce, cannot even maintain friendships the way we once did. We've become a species of individuals, brilliant, but isolated. Kick 7's voice was barely a whisper. That's why I volunteered for this assignment. I'm already showing symptoms. I cannot connect with my own kind anymore. Your anxiety patterns, Commander Jorix continued, looking at Nora, mirror our condition. Perfectly. But unlike us, humans can still heal from this isolation. We hope to study how, by having bonding nights. Nora's voice was gentler now. By observing authentic emotional connection, Commander Jorix corrected. Kick 7's research methods were ... overzealous. We underestimated how poorly our algorithms would interpret your entertainment media. Kick 7 hung their head. Thought if I could learn your bonding rituals, I could help both species. I only made everything worse. Zena looked between the aliens and her sister. So you're both dealing with the same thing, afraid to let anyone get close. I'm not afraid, Nora protested automatically, then stopped. I mean... okay, maybe I am. Fear is logical, Kick 7 said quietly. Connection requires vulnerability. Vulnerability leads to pain, but also to healing, Commander Jorix observed. Which is what we desperately need to understand. For a long moment, the lab was quiet, except for the hum of monitoring equipment. Then Nora did something that surprised everyone, including herself. She walked over to Kick 7 and gently touched their silver arm. I think, she said slowly, you've been trying so hard to fix the loneliness that you forgot the most important part, which is, you have to be willing to feel it first. Feel it, not just study it, or try to cure it with weird rituals. She looked around at her sister, the aliens, the chaotic lab. Maybe we're both scared of the same thing, that if someone really knew us, they'd leave. Kick 7's large eyes seemed to brighten. Your therapeutic insight is far superior to my research. It's not therapy, Nora said with a small smile. It's just being honest. 6 months later, Nora woke to the sound of her coffee maker brewing, automatically a small luxury. Kick 7 had programmed for her after learning about human caffeine dependency. The aliens' understanding of human needs had evolved considerably. Since their disastrous first meeting, she found Kick 7 in the main lab, hunched over her atmospheric monitors with the focused intensity they usually reserved for their own. Mysterious alien technology. Their silver skin had developed what Nora could only describe as worry lines. "The pressure readings from Sector 7 are fluctuating again," Kick 7 said without looking up. "I believe your equipment may require recalibration." "Good morning to you too," Nora said, settling into her chair with her coffee. "And it's probably just the seasonal wind patterns. Remember when you thought my barometric readings indicated an approaching invasion fleet? That was a reasonable conclusion based on the data," Kick 7 protested. But their tone held the warmth that had developed between them over months of shared quiet mornings. "So," Nora said casually, "Commander Jorix called yesterday while you were outside fixing the satellite dish. Something about your 6-month evaluation?" Kick 7's shoulders tensed almost imperceptibly. "What did they say?" "That you've made remarkable progress in understanding human emotional dynamics." Nora paused, studying her friend's profile. "They also said other Mindari colonies are requesting similar cultural exchange programs based on your reports. That is ... positive news." So why do you look like someone just told you Christmas was canceled?" Kick 7 finally turned from the monitors, their large eyes reflecting something Nora had learned to recognize as uncertainty. "They want me to return to the homeworld to train other cultural specialists, to share what I've learned about genuine connection and apply it to our own species' recovery." Nora felt something twist in her chest, not the familiar panic of her anxiety, but something deeper and more complicated. "That's amazing, Kick 7. You could help save your entire species." "Yes," Kick 7 said quietly, "but I would have to leave. Earth. Leave. ... This." The weight of unspoken words hung between them. Over 6 months, their strange friendship had become the most stable relationship in Nora's life. Kick 7 had learned to read her moods better than most humans could, understanding when she needed space and when she needed company. In return, Nora had watched the aliens slowly shed their rigid protocols and discover what it meant to simply exist with another being. "How long would you be gone?" Nora asked. "The training program is designed for 3 Earth years. It's possibly longer if the initial results are promising." 3 years. The number felt enormous. Kick 7 moved closer, their movement careful in that distinctly alien way that had become comfortingly familiar. "Nora, I need to tell you something. When I first arrived, I believed I was here to study human bonding patterns. But somewhere in these months, I stopped studying and started ... participating." "I know," Nora said softly. "Me too. You have taught me that connection isn't a protocol to be mastered or a problem to be solved. It's a choice to be vulnerable with another being, to trust them with your authentic self." Nora felt tears threatening, not from anxiety this time, but from the strange ache of caring about someone who might leave. "I'm going to miss you, and I will miss you, but perhaps ... Kick 7 hesitated, then continued with growing confidence. "Perhaps this is what healthy attachment looks like. Caring enough to support each other's growth, even when it requires temporary separation." "Temporary?" "The training program includes regular field assignments. I intend to request Earth as my permanent posting." Kick 7's expression grew almost shy. "If that would be acceptable to you?" Nora laughed, surprising herself with the sound. "I think I can handle having my best friend save the galaxy and come back to tell me about it." "Best friend," Kick 7 repeated thoughtfully. "I like this designation much better than therapeutic subject." "Much better," Nora agreed. They stood together at the observation window, watching the sunrise paint the mountains in shades of gold and pink. Outside, the world continued its ancient rotation, indifferent to the small miracle of 2 lonely beings who had learned to be less lonely together. "Same time next week?" Kick 7 asked as they prepared for the day's work. "Always," Nora replied, and meant it.